everybody to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One Chinese Grand Prix. 3 parts to this session as usual. A few questions from me at the top, then we'll go to the broadcasters and then the print media. Now, our 6 drivers today, closest to me, Nico Hülkenberg, then we have Fernando Alonso, Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc and Lando Norris. A very warm welcome to you all. Zhou, if we could start with you, please. Your first home race, how big a moment is this for you personally and for your country?
Yes, it's amazing, of course, to have the opportunity finally get a race to home. Obviously, been missing that over the last two seasons when I started my career in Formula One. And yeah, great to be back. Great to see all the track facility that I used to being on the other side of the circuit, which is the grandstand, watching, being a little fan of F1 and then coming back here, being an F1 driver. So yeah, can't wait. A lot of mixed emotion, of course, going through the weekend, but I want to treat it as much as a normal race weekend, but I'm sure that there will be plenty of supporters over coming throughout the days, and yeah, can't wait to be obviously trying the first time on track tomorrow. And yeah, been very busy recently, but having a lot of fun times so far.
As you say, there's going to be a lot of support. Can you tell us a little bit about how China's appetite for Formula One has changed in the last 5 years?
Yeah, it's been a massive change. Even I think for myself, came from the city this morning, the road and the circuit has been completely different to what it used to be. And then in general, let's say beginning of 2022 season, Formula One has really been building, mainly just the history background, motorsports culture back in this country has been completely growing, and it's great to see the pattern improving in the positive way. And I'm happy to see not just myself be here. I think a lot of young drivers, maybe age of 10, 6, 8, is already starting their racing, even here or in Europe. Try to chase this dream into Formula One. So yeah, it's great to be, of course, represent the country, being a driver for the first time here.
And how confident are you of scoring your first points of the season here at home?
Of course, 2 opportunities this weekend. Spring race format, it sounds very interesting, even though it's not a lot of practice after being obviously missing a few years and come back straight one session. But I'm sure, we have the potential. I think the racecraft is being reasonably okay. And from my side, I think there's parts to be improving. Get a bit more cleaner Friday, get prepared, ready for the qualify sessions. And points is definitely there to take. But as we saw, it's very, let's say, complex pack. The midfield battle is super tight between all the cars. So we just make sure all the details are correct and take the opportunities if there's.
All right, best of luck this weekend. Thank you, Zhou. Fernando, if we could come to you now. Many congratulations, signed and sealed with Aston Martin. Just how easy a decision was it for you to remain with the team for 2025 and beyond?
Well, thanks, first of all. And yeah, I mean, it's never an easy time when you have to make some decisions, especially right now for me, it's probably my last contract. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that it was the right decision. First of all, to keep racing in Formula One and to have the strength and the motivation to keep racing for a few more years from my side. And then after that, just making sure that the team has the targets and the goals for the next few years to be ambitious and to try to keep getting better and better. So yeah, it was, I think, a very happy decision for me. I'm obviously extremely proud to represent Aston Martin for the next few years. We started the journey last year and in a very good way, and we keep on working. So yeah, extremely proud, happy, and let's see what we can do.
Well, what is it about the team's future that excites you the most?
I think the new regulations in 2026 is going to be a possibility for everyone to mix the cars a little bit and have an opportunity. Obviously, we will be with Honda. We will be the only team with the power unit from Honda, which obviously it is a little bit different than being a customer engine now with Mercedes. So hopefully we have a little bit of an improvement there. Also, I think with Aramco, the biofuels and sustainability that will come into 2026, maybe we have a little bit of an opportunity there as well. And the team is just getting better and better. New facilities, new campus, new wind tunnel coming this summer. So yeah, there are a lot of things in place to be a very powerful team in the future, and I wanted to be part of it.
The timing of the announcement caught some people by surprise. Was it important for you to get the deal done early?
No, not really. I think we just sat together after Japan, and yeah, we arrived to a conclusion. An agreement was reached in 1 or 2 days, so it was very, very simple. And once we got the agreement, we announced it. And yeah, everything is a little bit more simple than what it looks from the outside. That there are a lot of rumors, a lot of things going on for different teams and different drivers, and deadlines here, deadlines there. And for us, we were just loyal to each other. We just kept our word, and once we sign it and we agree on something, we announce it. So for us, it was much more simple than maybe for other people.
All right, Fernando, thank you very much. Best of luck this weekend. Nico, if we could come to you now. Let's talk performance. Haas are introducing an upgrade here. What are you expecting from it?
Well, a little bit of improved and enhanced performance. Hopefully, it's not a major, huge update. Some little bits and bobs that look good on paper and in theory. But as always, you have to verify them on track, make sure the correlation is good. But yeah, better to have upgrade this early in the season in the tight midfield battle than not to have them.
On paper, do you think Shanghai will suit the car better than Suzuka anyway?
It should. It really should, and I hope so. It's a lot more low-speed content, I think, which is where the car feels more at home. Always good memories here. I've raced here 9 times and really like the flow and the layout of the circuit. So, yeah, exciting one ahead.
As you say, you have a lot of experience here at the Shanghai International Circuit. How will that help you going into a sprint weekend?
It's not just me. I think there's a few drivers who have done a fair few weekends here in years. Some more, some less. But yeah, personally, I'm quite excited. Less practice sessions obviously always kind of presents more opportunity maybe for more chances. But we have to make sure that we get it right ourselves. Obviously, everyone is in the same situation there. But feel quite okay going into this weekend with just the 1 hour practice.
And Nico, in light of Fernando's decision to stay at Aston Martin, do you expect the driver dominoes to fall quite quickly now?
Not sure, not necessarily. It's always difficult to foresee that and to predict. For some, it might move quite quickly. For some, maybe not. But it's definitely a very interesting situation right now. The driver market is very dynamic, very fluid, and I'm sure all the drivers with no contract for 2025 are pretty busy right now, having lots of conversations, checking options, and trying to obviously fix the future. Same for me.
Thank you. Best of luck to you, Esteban. If we could come over to you now. Upgrades at on the Haas this weekend. Upgrades on the Alpine as well. What are you expecting from the new floor?
Yeah, well, first of all, a very good job from the team, really, to bring some upgrades earlier than what was planned on my car, which is a remarkable effort by the team. So good that we can test that early, see what it brings to the car. Obviously, we still don't expect massive changes in terms of performance, but we can always have a good surprise, and we will see where that leads us onto the track later in the weekend.
Tell us a little bit more about the performance. Q2 in Japan. It all suggests that the car is better over 1 lap in qualifying than it is in the race. What happens to the performance on a longer run?
I think it depends where. I think in Australia we were looking, to be fighting for points. We were fighting with the Haases there. It was looking good until that tear-off came in the brake duct. Obviously, yes, we've qualified now twice in Q2 in Australia and in Suzuka, but in Suzuka, we also had damage at the start, which didn't help things, but we struggled more, definitely, Suzuka. So I think we did a step forward in qualifying recently, but we still need to work on the race pace and, see if we can hold on to the other cars. That's the main thing.
Final one from me. Do you expect the driver market to move quickly in light of Fernando's decision?
We'll see. Don't know.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Esteban. Best of luck this weekend. Charles, coming to you now. First up, there's a new member of the family since we last saw you in Japan. Leo, I believe.
Yes, a dog. I've always had dogs within my family, but never had mine. And yeah, he joined last Monday, and it's been great.
Who looks after him when you're away?
My girlfriend, but I do take care of him when I'm at home.
All right, look, let's bring it on to this weekend now. Does the team have more confidence coming in to Shanghai than it did going to Suzuka?
I think the level of confidence is quite stable since the beginning of the season. On paper, I think it's a track where we could be a bit stronger compared to Suzuka, but we'll just approach it the same way. I still think that Red Bull will have the upper hand this weekend, and we'll just have to focus on ourselves because it can be very easy, as we've seen, especially in qualifying in Suzuka. I didn't do a good job the Saturday, and then you don't go from 4th to 5th, but you go from 4th to 8th. And so it's going to be very important, especially on sprint weekend. We've got 2 qualifying this weekend to extract the maximum out of the car on both qualifyings. And then in the race, I think we are quite strong this year.
You say Red Bull will still have the advantage. Do you expect to be closer to them here than you were in Japan?
But let's see. Obviously, it's been a very long time since we didn't drive here. So yeah, I saw the track was painted or there was something strange on it. So also this we'll have to see how our car behaves on that and what are the main limitations on the in the race. But on paper, I think we should be closer to them, yes.
All right, Charles, thank you. Good luck with that. And Lando, what about your expectations coming into the weekend?
Probably not as high as Suzuka. I think that's our opinion, but still in a good position. I think we've been happy with how the season started. I think we're in a good qualifying battle with, Aston, Mercedes is very close, and even last weekend ahead of Ferrari. But I think the order is still clear, and I think in the racing we've done a good job. Not as good as Red Bull, but and Ferrari, but ahead of Aston and Mercedes. So I think we're in a good spot. This wasn't a great circuit for us in 2019, but many things have changed since then, so I'm still optimistic we can have a good weekend.
What is it about this layout that gives you less confidence?
The long corners, just like turn 1. This type of corner is just not good for us, similar to, say, Zandvoort, that kind of experience for us. So we've got some things to try, and we're constantly trying to improve these areas, but it's an area we know is one of our biggest weaknesses. And maybe we kind of get away with it in qualifying, but especially into the race becomes a bigger problem for us.
There was some race day frustrations for you in Japan, but afterwards your boss, Andrea Stella, said that the team can win this year. How quickly do you think you can do that?
Not anytime soon, that's for sure. I think we can. Right place, right time. If we improve the car how we need to. Honestly, there weren't too many frustrations with Suzuka. I think everything went pretty much as expected. I don't think we did a perfect job, and I think we probably should have finished one place higher up potentially. But I don't think it was far off. We've been the same place all season. We've been behind Red Bull. We've been behind Ferrari, and we've been a bit of a step ahead of the other 2 teams come the race, and that's exactly how last weekend went. So I don't think there was too many frustrations. But we know the issues. We know what we have to improve, and if we can improve them, I think Andrea's right. I think we can win races this year, and we can be competitive with these other 2 teams ahead of us. But that's an if. And, we have to work hard to improve the car in some of these certain areas, which have been a big challenge for us over the last, I say many years, not just few years, but last many years. But if we can, then I'm confident we can have some good races.
Great. Thank you, Lando. Thanks to all of you. Let's now throw this open to the broadcasters. Who is first, please? Yeah, Craig.
Yeah, Craig Slater, Sky Sports. A question for Fernando. You talked about driver rumours. There were obviously rumours potentially linking you with either Red Bull or maybe Mercedes. Were there any exploratory talks? How serious were they, if there were? And were they working maybe to a different time scale for you? Did you want to get your future sorted out before they potentially wanted to get their drivers for next year in place?
Well, as I said last week, I think there is no point to really talk too much because now it's done and I'm with Aston, and I will like to talk only about Aston. And as I said last week, there were some talks with everyone, as I think it is normal for everyone in this moment, but they were just light conversations.
Okay, thank you. Yep.
Hi, Joe. Mariana Becker from TV Band. Yesterday I was around and then a girl asked me about you. She didn't know much about racing, but she knew everything about you. When did you realize that you became famous here?
I'd probably say last year. It's every year, obviously, the first time you become my F1 driver, of course, when our country, this year, countryman racing, different sports, especially Formula One, when there's only 20 drivers on the grid, and then they start to focus, of course, on their drivers from their where their city or their country is from. So it's great to see the fan base is building up quite a lot. And also, for me, I think you always have, let's say, the fans has been following motorsport for ages, since probably 2010 or these years when we had the Chinese Grand Prix. But then it's great to have maybe fans that have different interests in other topics and then started to follow that because of you. I think for me, the most important part is just for the history of background motorsports scenario here, it's not being, let's say, the most popular sports in China. Of course, everybody know our country is, let's say, ping pong, football, basketball. These things are very famous, popular. And for people, maybe it's quite easy to play or to reach, but then motorsport for them is always like quite a high luxury end of a sport. But I think everyone can still involve, have that as an interest, and that's why I'm here for, one of the reasons. And it's great to see a lot of people coming supporting, not just on the racetrack, also off track, to see them be there when you have activities. It's just great to feel this energy.
Yeah, Rodriguez from DAZN Spain. A question to Alonso. Do you feel that Aston Martin is developing the team and the car all around you, like the main figure of the team?
I don't think so. I think Lance and myself, we are trying to help the team as much as we can. I think we have two different driving styles. In some conditions, we have two different feelings with the car. I think Lance is a lot more sensitive to things than what I am, which is I think very important for the team. I think the analysis that Lance can reach and can feed back to the team is crucial to us and to improve the car. I'm a little bit insensitive to things sometimes, and this is not a good thing. I think both we are trying to help Aston as much as we can, and I think the direction that we develop the car and we finalize normally the setups on a weekend is exactly the same. So we arrive to the same conclusion, maybe in a different way, and I think those two different styles is just a good thing for Aston.
Fernando, where do you lack sensitivity?
Well, I think sometimes I drive the car around the problems that we have, and that's sometimes a good thing because I can drive any car at any moment and extract the 90% of it. But to reach the 100% of the potential of the car, sometimes I'm not able to do without, as I said, sometimes the help from my teammate on the special details on the setup or balance problems here and there. So I think we benefit from each other in many different ways, and this is a good thing at the moment.
Thank you. All right, next one, David. Yeah.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Another question to you, Joe. Some things in life are worth waiting for, and you've been waiting for this moment for a couple of years longer than you first thought. So take us through what your emotions, what you feel they might be standing on the grid, listening to the anthem on Sunday. And it's a two-part question. What are you doing at the moment to make sure this isn't the last time you race in your home Grand Prix?
Yeah, firstly, my first race I watched back in the day, 2004, the man sitting next to me was racing already. Can't imagine how he, still here, racing at a very high level. But for me, of course, it's been 20 years waiting into this Grand Prix. And let's say that this journey has been not extremely easy, just because where I'm coming from, and also, trying to win at least a lot of races in other Federer series to be here. And then once you're in F1 every year, of course, when you realize that the home race is not happening for 2 years in a row, you try to kind of do your best to maintain your seat and then to be here today. So for me, of course, I'm still focused on my job, like I always said. I know this is very, let's say, mix of emotions going into this weekend, especially when we have, on Sunday with the national anthem going on, and also the memory, quickly reflect on your mind. But as much as I am as a race driver, I think the most important critical thing is to do the right job on track, which is try to score in points, give a maximum I have on the package, on the car we have, which, I feel like we have potential, even though it's not the track I know the best in terms of just the layout, never been drove there in a single seater, but I still, feel like we have a good opportunity with the format, and from my side, I think we just focus on that, and hopefully that's not going to be the only one, because I'm, planning hopefully to stay here as long as I could, and everybody loves to be having a long career in Formula One. That's where we dream to be. So yeah, let's get over this weekend in a positive way. Hopefully, reach some good results on Sunday.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, Diego.
Diego Mejia, Fox Sports Mexico. A question to Fernando, and if any other driver wants to comment, how will you change your approach with the new format on the sprint weekend, having a race and 3 hours and a half later qualifying session that's going to be decisive for Sunday, if that changes the approach and also the parc-fermé rules?
I don't think it's going to change much the approach to any other sprint weekend that we had last year. We only have now the opportunity after the sprint race to change the car. So everything that we maybe learn on the qualifying and that mini race, we may change things for the rest of the weekend. That will be the only freedom that we have now, and it will be used for sure.
Esteban, can we just get your thoughts on the approach to the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really different to any other sprint weekends. It's just that here we haven't been here for a while, for sure. So FP1 is going to be crucial before you get to that first sprint qualifying. Luckily, if things go wrong, in that first stage of the weekend, you can always change the setup back, which is a new thing. So probably a little bit more experimental things you can try, for that first stage of the weekend. But otherwise, it's not a huge difference.
Thanks both. Okay, yep.
Rodriguez from DAZN again. A question to Charles. Both drivers in Ferrari are doing a super good job this year. But Carlos has been in front in their 3 races he has raced. Is he adapting better to the car, or what do you think?
No, I think it's as simple as he's doing a better job. I think in Bahrain it's difficult to compare, because on my side I was facing issues, and I think it was a very strong weekend apart from that on my side. However, in the last 2 races he's just been stronger. So it's up to me now to work, especially in the qualifying pace, which is normally a strength. I've been struggling to put the lap together. It's a very fine line to get it right or completely wrong on the outlap, and putting the tires in the right window. And for now, I have been struggling more than what Carlos has done, and he's driving at a very high level, which I think is great for the team, is great for me as well. I have been working a lot on that, and normally when I work on points, I'm quite confident on improving pretty quickly. So I'm not worried, but obviously now I need to show that on track, and starting from tomorrow in qualifying.
Thank you. Any more questions from the broadcasters? Yeah, David.
Just a final question to Fernando. Now that you've signed a 2-year deal, what assurances have you had from Honda that they won't be giving you a GP2 engine for 2026 and beyond?
Well, they are winning the championship now, so they are demonstrating that they have the, I think, the discipline and the work that is needed to succeed in Formula One. Obviously, new regulations. No one knows what could happen in 2026, but we are, extremely happy to work with Honda and to be, as I said, works team for a power unit. I think makes a huge difference of what we currently have. So that's a plus, and that's one of the reasons that I stay into the new regulations and to have the opportunity to work with Honda again. And as I said, I feel that we will have an advantage.